Wait for Instagram to pop up here. Should pop up right away. Welcome in, everybody. Just waiting for the Instagram to do its thing. Instagram, so they can be with us this time. They weren't with us last time on the show, but I really appreciate you guys being here. We're sticking around for 3:30. I'm going to come up with an announcement. And yeah, we'll have a little chat. So I know lots of people still at work, lots of people still doing things. So hopefully you're watching the replay. And yeah. Let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're watching the replay or the live. Right now, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit that follow button if you enjoy our content, what we're doing every single day. We're going to put a little bit of dialogue and discussion in. It is 3:30, ladies and gentlemen, so I can come out with this now. Out of the Calgary municipal election, we're going to talk about a statement that Sonya Sharp just put out today. Stick around if you're not from Calgary, because we are going to talk about municipal politics and a few other things after it. So if you're not from Calgary, it might not be for you, but I want to come out with this right now. So let me find it. Let me find it. Let me get it going for you. So 3:30 today statement, October 20, 2025, from Calgary municipal election from Sonya Sharp. She was running for mayor, and I endorsed her, as many of you know. And let me do this. Let me do this. Learn your cameras, Verta Proud Dad. That'd be great if you can learn your cameras, hey? There we go. We learned them. So, Community First mayoral candidate Sonya Sharp today announced that she will request a recount of the October 20th election in accordance with the provisions of Section 98 of the Local Authorities Election Act. To every single Calgarian who voted in the advance polls and on election day, regardless of who you voted for, you have my heartfelt thanks, said Sharp. People stood in line for, in some cases, hours, and in some cases, outdoors on a frosty fall evening to exercise their franchise in our municipal elections. That is the very foundation of our government, its strength, and the source of legitimacy for all that comes from City Hall. And every one of those votes deserves to be appropriately accounted for. Given the margin of victory for Mr. Farkas is only 585 votes, or 0.16%, I believe it is appropriate to request the chief returning officer undertake a recount of the ballots to ensure the accuracy of the election's outcome. Yesterday was challenging for our election workers. Long lines, new procedures, and hand counting ballots well into the early hours of the morning. This request is by no means a criticism of their hard work. Instead, it suggests that mistakes can occur during the stressful situations. Given the razor-thin margin of victory in this election, it makes ample sense to review and double-check that appropriate processes were followed and the count is accurate. I am happy to accept the outcome of this review, win or lose, because the final word of our citizens is what matters most in local government, concluded Sharp. Ms. Sharp will not issue any further statements or speak to the media until the recount by the returning officer is complete. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to be clear about this. I was at Sonya Sharp's campaign headquarters last night, and this is where I totally agree. Because those of you who've been watching me for a long time, you know that when recounts come out, I only ever endorse the recount if it's close. And this one is razor close. So, of course, and if this was any other candidate, I would still say this is a good recount. So, last night at campaign headquarters, it was about midnight, close to midnight. We were told we would not get any information because they were going to stop counting at 1 a.m. Obviously, they kept counting into the wee hours of the morning. 4:30 a.m., I believe, is when they came to the conclusion. So where's the problem with that? The problem with I have is fatigue. This was a very, very busy election. There was confusion. There was new procedures. People waited in line for an hour and a half. And as you saw, Sonya Sharp, she is not trying to discredit any of the volunteers, any of the people working on this election whatsoever. She appreciates them for all their support, but she earns the right to a recount. Errors can happen. This is under 600 votes, ladies and gentlemen. So I support Sonya Sharp in her request for a recount, and I hope you guys do, no matter what party you're from, no matter what candidate you supported, we need to support democracy in our municipal elections. And she already said, if Jeremy Farkas comes out as a winner, then Jeremy Farkas is the winner. She's not trying to take away from the fact that Calgarians sat there in the cold for an hour and a half. She's not trying to do that. What she's trying to do is make sure that those Calgarians have a voice. And that is where we are. So I support Sonya Sharp in this endeavor, and I am happy. I reached out to the Sharp campaign this morning, and I all I said was, I really hope you guys are going to request a recount. And here it is. Here's the press release right now, 3:30 p.m. She is in fact requesting a recount. Now, there's a lot of things that we can talk about when it comes down to municipal elections, and I'm not going to touch on it yet. I would like to wait until the recount is over, but I would like to say one thing. I endorsed Sonya Sharp. And right after I endorsed Sonya Sharp, there was one campaign that came at me, and that was Jeff Davison's campaign. And you know what? We were cordial. We played nice together, and things were great. But I did notice one thing, and I didn't call them out on it during the campaign because I don't believe in that dirty, nasty bullshit politics. And you guys know this. They used my threads as a billboard for them. They used my platform as a billboard for them. And I'll be clear and concise. I did not delete their comments. I allowed them to do that. But I came out and I told you guys that Jeff Davison doesn't have it. And he didn't have it because when these people have to come to my platform to use my comment section as a billboard for their platform, somebody who endorsed a completely separate candidate, I can already tell you they don't have it. So we did our best. Sonya, I know, is going to go off and do great things if she doesn't win. She's got my full support in whatever she does do. She has integrity. She is a strong voice for women. She has done absolutely good work in this city. Has she always been right? No. But show me a politician who has. Show me a politician who has. There was a reason I supported Sonya Sharp, and that's because I thought she deserved it. To the Jeff Davidson camp, you know what? You guys ran a really good campaign. And I'm going to say this. You guys ran a really good campaign because you got people convinced to vote for the old Jeremy Farkas instead of the new Jeremy Farkas. And you're about to see, Calgary, that you just voted a Gondek 2.0. Is he going to be as bad as Gondek? No. Is he going to be as conservative as you think he's going to be? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jeremy Farkas won this election based off of the old Jeremy Farkas. If anybody did their research, they would have realized the NDP was supporting. This is why the NDP was very, very confident in this election, because they knew Coyote probably wouldn't win, but they knew Farkas had a chance. So they didn't care. If you notice Jody Gondek, she was quiet throughout this whole election. She didn't have to be loud. She knew she lost, but they also knew the NDP had another candidate, and that was Jeremy Farkas, because he duped you all. He duped every single one of you, and that's fine. Jeremy, you played it smart. You duped these people. You'll be a one-term mayor, and we'll move on from there. I'm not being a sore loser at all. Sonya Sharp is going to go off and do great things. If this recount comes in, and you know what, she doesn't win, it's fine. I know she's going to go off and do great things. I fear for the people of Calgary who elected a leftist mayor. That's who I fear. That's who I fear. And at the end of the day, only time will tell. To every other candidate who won their seats, congratulations. Municipal elections, what I found out of this whole thing, and I've covered provincial and federal elections, I have found municipal elections are dirty, very, very dirty. And we have seen a vote split right here, right now. I got called out by Jeff Davison's comms person today for talking about vote splitting. You know what? At the end of the day, look at the numbers. Look at Jeff's numbers. Look at Sonya's numbers. Who vote split it, right? When you roll around and you got social media influencers showing polls behind them as they're making a video, duping the public, we know what's going on. So all I can say is it doesn't really matter what a social media influencer says. I hope each and every one of you voted for the candidate that you thought was best in this municipal election. And with myself, when I endorsed Sonya Sharp, I thought she was the best candidate, and I still do. I still do believe she is the best candidate for Calgary, and she would be the best mayor for Calgary. I look forward to the results. I look forward to what happens in the recount. And all I know is, like I said, Sonya will go off and do great things. Now, it's time to hold your elected officials accountable. It doesn't matter if they follow your party. It doesn't matter if they're conservative. It doesn't matter what gender they are. Look at their policy and hold them to account on what they ran on. That's what I'm asking you to do. And that's what I do with every politician. I support Danielle Smith. I think Danielle Smith has done an amazing job. She's been the best premier in a long time in this province. But guess what? She's not going to get it right all the time. And we must demand accountability from our politicians. And that's what we're going to do. If you guys have been following me on the school board stuff, I just want to reiterate the fact that I'm not stopping with the school board stuff. I'm not stopping with the ATA. I'm not stopping with any of that. This has probably been the largest week of people threatening lawsuits on me since I've ever started on social media. And it's amazing. As soon as you start triggering the left, as soon as you start triggering the union leaders, they think that they can throw their lawyers at you. Like, that's going to scare me. It's not going to scare me. I'm not going to get scared because you don't like my opinion on the internet. Free speech is free speech. If you think it doesn't exist, I'll use my freedom of expression. If you think that doesn't exist, we'll see you in court. It's just that simple. I'm not going to sit here and allow somebody to maim, defame, shame, or bully me into silence because, oh no, you're going to send a lawyer after me. Forever Canadian is the other one. I had somebody who's a canvasser in the area or for Forever Canadian say that they're going to give me a cease and desist. Go for it. I got over 400 emails right now basically showing that they were at polling stations yesterday, which is skirting the line. Some of those people were in parking lots. But tell me this, if we go to Elections Alberta and we say, hey, these people were waving people over and coercing them while they were standing in line or walking up to people in line, these are all going to be on affidavits. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to do an investigation. Okay. So we are not stopping. We are going to move into public sector unions. There's a big thing to look at there. And what I'm seeing is gross mismanagement of funds in every single union and every single board. There needs to be a direct investigation. So when I come out and I say this person's trying to sue me or that person's threatening to sue me, you guys know why. They're trying to silence me. And we're not going to shut up. We're not going to stop. I know a lot of you guys out there support the channel. You support what we're doing here. And that's my promise to you. I told my wife, I said, well, if we do lose a case, I guess I'll be making videos from a cardboard box because that's what it's going to take. You are not going to shut me up. So threaten you want, send me the DMs, send me the emails, send me your cease and desist, send me whatever it is that you need to send me. I'm not going to shut up. You're not going to scare me. I walked with the devil for 20 years of my life. I went through active addiction. I've been sober for 5 years. You're not going to say anything bad to me that I haven't said worse to myself or treated myself worse. Okay? So this is where we're at. Sonya Sharp, she comes out with an announcement. I support it. She absolutely deserves a recount. I'm hoping she wins, obviously, but she is going to take the recount for what it is, and we're going to go from there. And to everybody out there who supports the channel, we really appreciate it. And I want to be clear with one thing. I am not paid. I am not sponsored. I don't collect a salary. Nobody's paying me to tell you something. That's not what we do here. We are literally a supporter-sponsored channel. Every single one of you that go to my website and purchase something, that's what helps the channel grow. That's what buys the new equipment. That's what pays for the podcast studio. That's what helps families at Christmas. That's what helps the 7-year-old girl we just paid for a birthday party with. That's the work that we do behind the scenes. So we appreciate each and every one of you for that. So go check out my website, BertaProudDad.com, and we'll see you a little bit later. I love you guys.